Welcome to Gamblin and Ramblin, a weekly show where we react and rant about the weekend in sports betting. I'm Tim Kalinowski. He's Charlie DiSturco. You can follow us both in the Action app, Action YouTube channel, and the Action Network HQ on TikTok and Twitter. It's been 2 weeks since I've done this. Obviously, I'm going to fumble it a little bit. Charlie, how you doing? NBA All-Star game. You came back from the alma mater this weekend. What's going on?
Hey, dude, I'm excited to be back and in the groove of things. I'm excited for our slip-ups over this next entire show. But yeah, I was back at Syracuse this weekend, bet against them, against Duke, and man, easy money. Don't think I'm ever going to really try and go back to Syracuse, though, because I feel, I'm getting up there in that age where it's almost like, dude, what are you even doing here? That type of feel. Yeah. And I'm like, man, I'm heading toward that way.
Yeah, I mean, Look, good on you, though. See, a mature move, though, is being old enough, mature enough to go back to school and then fade your team. So, well done. I think I saw that you logged Duke, and then I was looking for any excuse to bet Duke because I was like, there's no way. I'm like, yeah, the Kalinowski power rating spit out not that spread. So. It was Q's +1. Is that what it was?
Yeah. Duke was -1. It closed like 1.5. And what's interesting though is that like as far as like the whole you saying me coming back and fading them, a lot of kids that I talked to at Syracuse, just like at the bars and stuff, they were all on Duke too. So I think it might just be like a general hatred for Jim Boeheim that has led to this just like distaste in the program. But it was weird because it was like one of those things where like the school was even like Syracuse stinks. Like how are we even a 1-point underdog? Like Duke is so much better than we are.
Yeah. So yeah, everyone was like, this line smells. Well, maybe the betting public is getting a little more educated, but lucky you as well for being distracted this weekend that you missed all the NBA All-Star game shenanigans. Did you keep an eye on that at all?
I watched the All-Star game because it was a Sunday night. So like the other festivities and stuff, I missed the dunk contest, missed the 3-point shootout. I didn't even see any of those replays. I watched the All-Star game. And it might have been the worst product I've ever watched. Yeah. And like we've talked about the NFL Pro Bowl being bad, this was so much worse. Not only are these guys driving into the paint and you're seeing like a half-assed swipe of like a steal and then just layup.
You'd be lucky to see that.
Yeah, they were like kind of there riding and then just like pull off and let you walk into the paint. The wide open shots, pulling from half court, alley-oop passes that went 15 feet into the air out of bounds. It was one of the worst games I've ever watched, and it was only on because I was at a bar after dinner, just like it was on the big screen. So what else am I going to watch? It was that and the XFL that were on only.
I mean, that's the situation where, like when we were in Cleveland, if you're the bar, just throw on like just throw on TBS with
soap opera,
just throw a rerun to some show. Just put on like Discovery Channel. I mean, like the bar should not default to that horrendous game. Is the NBA All-Star game for me? No. Are most All-Star games for me? No. But at the same time, I want to enjoy it. I want it to be a good product. It's just so bad. I hate the argument. It's like, oh, if you don't like it, just turn it off. But I feel like there's such an agreement in the public sentiment that it is terrible. It blows. Am I wrong?
Yeah, no, you're not wrong, and it makes sense. And it's just like one of those things that I can't fathom, like how bad the NBA and the NFL All-Star games are. The Pro Bowl, the All-Star game, the MLB one's great. It's fantastic. They mic up half the players during live at bats. You're seeing people talk. Obviously, if baseball's not for you, you're not going to enjoy the All-Star game. But it's competitive. They all hit home run. Like people are swinging up there trying to hit a baseball. Maybe it's because the injury factor is not there as much. And we saw LeBron. LeBron hurt his pinky going up for a block on Shai Gilgeous, but it's like, it's either like have the All-Star game or don't.
I don't think it's the injury factor. And I brought this up on Green Dot Daily and Brendan corrected me. He's like, I said kind of a similar thing to you. And he's like, no. You've got Jaylen Brown playing in a mask. You have guys that sat out load management leading up to the game to play in the game. They want to, here's the epitome of it. Tatum launched a new shoe on All-Star weekend. So he wants to be in the game. Does he want to actually try? Look, I'm not sure. But that's kind of the deal here. It's they want the game, they want the event, but they don't want to actually like compete, So only they know the answer of why that is, right?
Yeah, it's just the best 2 minutes of that entire weekend was like the Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum going one-on-one.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Yeah, but it's true. It was the only time where it was like fun because the players, you could see that they were smiling and having fun with it rather than like the entire 12-minute quarter. It was just, all right, let's drive the ball up the court. All right, dunk. All right, back down the other field. Layup. All right, back down the other field.
I thought it was corny and uncomfortable. I didn't like it.
Really?
Yeah, I thought it was stupid.
I thought it was the best. Well, okay. Was it amazing? No. But was it the best thing of that entire game? Yes. The entire... It literally was the only time where there was semi-defense. The other times it was wide open threes, dunks, alley-oops.
When everyone else cleared out, they couldn't have looked more disinterested. They were like,
the players on the around
the
them.
Players. Yeah. When they cleared
Anthony
out,
Edwards is sitting on the 3-point corner, just like standing there, walking around, chirping, joking around.
Exactly. I think some of them had their backs turned. So it wasn't like, oh, like look at these young studs going at it. Like it wasn't. The fact that the players looked so disinterested. That's for me why I was like, can we? Okay, enough. How many times are we gonna go back and forth? And I was like, okay, thank God the quarter ended because I don't know how long that was gonna go.
Oh no, I did think the same thing where I was like, all right, first minute I was like, oh, this is fun. Second minute I'm like, is this gonna end? And then the quarter ended. It was like, thank goodness. Yeah, it was. I mean, it's the epitome of how bad the All-Star Weekend is. It's just like the players, no one tries. The best way to fix this All-Star game is by getting rid of it. Like there should just not be an All-Star game. I don't understand why we're playing 3 quarters and then the first 24 points of the best scorer or whatever. I didn't even know the rules. I tweeted out. I was like, oh, Dame Lillard and Donovan Mitchell like 50 plus together plus 250 is a great bet. Then I looked at it. It was like they had 5 points in the first quarter, and I was like, "Wait, there's only 3 quarters that are being played." And then thank goodness, like the second and third quarter, they combined for like 50. But I was like, I didn't know the rules even going into it.
Know the rules, Charlie. Know the rules.
But I was expecting like more fun basketball or like I don't know what I was expecting, but it was not this. And I was like, we should just get rid of this game.
I can fix it. I can fix the NBA All-Star game.
All right, let me hear it.
Okay, here's what you do. This came to me after I watched the And One documentary on Netflix. Okay, screw Salt Lake City on a Sunday night in February. Let's pack this thing up and take it on the road. Street ball. Let's go back to the roots of the game. The NBA say we'll pick. It has to be in a warmer climate though. So let's say we pick a city. We pick Atlanta. We go find some beat up old street ball court in Atlanta. The NBA redoes the court. Builds bleachers, as many as it wants, gives out tickets to the local community, and we put on an outdoor show. And then look, the NBA, you want content leading up to the event? You want interest? I think of all the content you can make building the court and how they picked the city, the players interacting with the local boys and girls club. And then you throw on this great show, you make the spectacle. You make the camera angles, when you play like that in the Carrier Classic, you make everything look so good that we forget how poor the product is on the court. That all of that becomes second nature. I don't know if that's listen, great idea on just like taking it away from like this stadium and spectacle and making it more like homey and stuff. But I don't know if watching a 5-on-5 game, unless they try, it's going to be the same discussion. We're going to be like, this is horrible because no one's playing defense. And it doesn't matter. No. We'll be talking about. Listen, you watch a lot of college basketball. You watch the Carrier Classic when they play in the thing.
Yes.
What's your favorite moment from the Carrier Classic?
Me winning my bets.
See, it's not about the actual. They're not going to change. It's a fool's errand. They're not going to change the way they play. We have to make everything around it so mesmerizing that the product and how they play becomes innocuous.
Yeah, being on the court that's a ship in the background and stuff is very intriguing.
That way, all the Twitter clips, all the conversation could be, wow, look at Dame going up for that dunk, floating in the air, instead of saying, oh my God, look how poor the defense was. Okay,
I kind of see that. My version of how I would fix the All-Star game is I would get rid of the All-Star game, and then I would replace it with like 3-on-3 tournaments, 2-on-2 tournaments, a King of the Hill, the games that we played and grew up watching as kids, and something where we could all relate to and be like, oh, this is what we used to do. And it also would inspire people to try. Like if you play a King of the Hill or First to 21 and it's 3 players on the court trying, or 2 guys against each other, like the NBA 2K, it's more fun because they actually are going to play defense, and it's actually going to be fun, whether it's to like 11 or not.
You don't know they're going to. The NHL does this. They play 3-on-3. It sucks.
Yeah, but the 3-on-3, okay, but that's different because it's, well, actually, I don't know. I don't watch the NHL All-Star game. So before I say anything, do they play on the full entire ice?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the issue. You cut it off. You cut it off at the half court. If you even do it outside, it's mesmerizing. Outside, half court, like you were 13 years old playing basketball. You're going against all pros. You put on Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum against like Dame Lillard and I don't even know.
Charlie,
it
by
matter.
making the court smaller does not guarantee they try.
No, but it forces them to at least be near each other.
When we play 5-on-5 in the All-Star game, they're all 7 feet tall. There already isn't a lot of room. They already basically are in a tight
But the amount of fast breaks and not getting back on transition, that's impossible on a half court because you're already within this perimeter of a small court. And then these guys will, I guarantee you, we play a 2-on-2 tournament or the 3-on-3 stuff that has been happening in the back, like whatever, that tournament league, whatever was going on. People would try harder or like do more fun stuff with like, okay, maybe like, I mean, Allen Iverson's probably too old at this point, but like you can invite, maybe it's like 2 pros and a former pro playing together. It's a 3-on-3 tournament with all the best in the league. It's more fun that way. And I think it's more inviting to trying compared to in the All-Star game where it's just like, here's a court, here's 12 minutes, have fun.
You want to see 3-on-3 basketball mailed in? Just come watch my friends. I promise you can mail it in.
I think they would try.
It's possible.
What about 21? You play, it's 1-on-1-on-1.
They aren't going to try. They aren't going to try.
I think
they aren't going to try. They aren't going to try.
But it's a 5-on-5 game and there's 10 guys on a court and it's fast break points and 3-point shootouts and they think it's entertaining. It would be so much better if we sized down the court and we said, here. And even if it was like, all right, winner gets $5 million. You think they're going to try then?
Oh, you just changed the goalpost. Now you said a prize. Now you said $5 million.
Oh, okay. So, you take away the money. I still think they try. Add in the money. All of a sudden, we got the OG hoops back in the day where they actually tried in the All-Star game. They did try back in the day. It was entertaining back in the day. I enjoyed watching it.
They didn't play 3-on-3 back in the day. They played 5-on-5.
Yeah, but it was better than this bullshit. It was better than this that was going on.
Charlie, you just laid out a perfect resume to get hired by the NBA. You know why? Because they're all trying to figure out how to get the players to try, and they're all wrong. They're not going to try, and unless we put a Lamborghini at half court, we say this is what you're playing for. Do the NBA want to shell that out? I don't know.
They make so much money, they should.
I'm of the belief a prize would work. I just think the more we talk about how to change like the game, it's a lost cause. I really think it is.
It's just a joke. It might as well be playing horse out there because it's just not competitive. They're just screwing around, hitting off balance threes, half court shots, alley-oop dunks. They need to change it somehow. I think shortening the courts and making it less people would do that, and then obviously the prize would then actually give them a competitive edge to try.
We could be here all day.
That's a Gamblin Ramblin. Ramble.
Partly why we might want to scratch each other's eyes out right here is because we did just come back from being together for way too long.
Too long. I could have done another week, Tim.
We got back from Cleveland. Our Super Bowl recap. Remember NFL football? Yeah, that wasn't too long ago. We were in Cleveland. Very underrated city, I would say.
Dude,
what do you think?
It was very, very great city. We walked around. It was beautiful. There's no trash on the streets like New York City. I felt comfortable walking around. The bar scenes were great. Their downtown area is phenomenal. I have no negative things to say. There's a casino in the city.
Casino, yep. Everything was like everything was walking distance. It was quiet but busy enough that you weren't like in the middle of nowhere. The only thing I will say, every city, everyone goes, well, you got to come back in the summertime. Yeah. Obviously, everything's better when it's 80 degrees out. I don't think I'm going to Cleveland in August. Maybe not. It's not
a
at the top of my
shot,
list.
we would say. That you come back to go see a concert on the river when you could be doing that in Miami or LA.
Yeah, it's just, yeah. Oh, you should see it in the summer. Yeah. Oh, really? This is better when we can wear short sleeves? Yeah, I would think so too. It's like pet peeve of mine. You're like, will you just stop? But it's a really underrated. I went in ready to bash the whole thing. I went in ready to shit on Cleveland. And look, the thing about me, at the very least, I'm fair. I call a spade a spade. It was a good time.
My expectations were not high entering this, and they weren't. You hear Cleveland, you hear people that go there, and you're like, Cleveland. I went in, and it might be. I lived in Detroit for a year. I liked it arguably more than Detroit, and it was very similar, and it's a lot nicer than people make it out to be. Yeah, I had a great time. Plus, we got to see Stuckey. And a weekend with Stuckey, our bodies are finally getting over it a week and a half later, but it was a great time. I can't complain.
We went out with Stuckey, and people say at Action, oh, have you ever met Stuckey? It's like, no, well, wait till you do, because he'll take you out. He's so generous. He's this. And he did all of those things. But the most shocking is we're out late, 2-3 nights in a row. I want to sleep for 2 straight days. We just got back from being out till like 4:30. And then I'm walking, and then I wake up the next morning and I see Stuckey logged bets at like 6:30. I'm like, does this guy say?
I have my tweet notifications on for him, and I'm like, and I woke up the next morning after we went out that Saturday night where we were out till 4 a.m. I woke up at like 9:30, looked at my phone, it was like Stuckey's tweeting 4:35, 5:36. Then you see like 1.5 hours, then 7:38, 8:30, and then we texted the group chat of us, and he's like, oh yeah, just come over. I was like, yeah. Tim is basically in a hospital bed right now in his hotel room. I'm at a coffee shop trying to regather myself. Stuckey, we can't do this.
Hey, guy is a different breed. I mean, not like, and we didn't even get like the full, like we didn't like really floor it. It's just, yeah. I couldn't even open the wonderful Action app. I was like, I was that tired. I was that worn out. And this guy's
like, other than the only time you ever opened the Action app was when you were not texting me back, but you were logging your bets, and I was trying to hang out with you.
Yeah, that was a bit of an embarrassing moment. I was just on the app. I was basically tailing Stuckey's picks, and you were texting me and I wasn't responding. And I'm sitting there. I'm like, here we are out at the casino till 4 a.m. And by the time I get home, Stuckey's logging, Queens and Kennesaw State. And I'm like, how?
Yeah, he truly is a different breed. And that's college basketball grind. You got to do it overnight, and somehow Stuckey fits that into his drinking schedule. I usually have to, do it before I begin my activities and stuff at night, because my body can't handle all that goes through. I miss the 12 o'clock tip sometimes because I'm so tired from the night before.
He just recovers in like 2 hours, less. He has that ability. Just boom, flip the switch. Just all the power to him. You would think the kids, you and I, would set the pace. Not even close. Not even close. It was the rookie and the vet. We could not play. And we got bailed out too, because he wanted to buy more car bombs, and like one of the bars didn't have them, so we got bailed out too.
Yeah, we'll settle for a Miller Lite instead.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, we can't keep this thing going. So
but I mean, it's interesting because he does NFL, made us a lot of money in that Super Bowl with the Chiefs. Yep. I know, bet the NHL, I bet college basketball. Is this kind of when you go into the whole, all right, now I'm locked into, and NASCAR just happened this weekend. Now that NFL's over, where do you go from here now that there's not football to bless us 4 or 5 times a week? I guess XFL, but you know what I mean. NFL.
No, I can't bet that. I mean, the XFL is actually, they say it's like very profitable, but if you have to have like a good model, good whatever, but like I just don't have the time for that. I don't have the capacity, but I'm going NHL every night. I have like 2 or 3 screens in my living room, and then the premier top 25 basketball game. Like I'm a bit of a square when it comes to that. Like I want to watch the big game. I will bet, a mid-major game, but I'm not in a rush to throw it on. It's NHL for me. And again, like if I'm watching a top 25 basketball game, I want to bet on it, but I'll be smart. I'll just throw a taste. I'm not throwing an NFL unit on it. I'm like, hey, this is on. Let me have some stake in the game. And I think that's a good way to look at it if you're betting all throughout the week too.
Yeah. I mean, I bet my normal unit for college basketball, but that's my bread and butter is I bet college basketball. That's one of my caps. I do the same thing when I bet NHL because I don't know hockey that much. And majority of my bets are tailing Nick Martin, our company, our good buddy, Nick Martin. Other than the fact that I lose every single overtime game, and we've talked about it for 6 months.
Oh my God.
Our luck hasn't even changed. That is what's crazy, is that we've talked about how our overtime luck has not regressed back positively. How is it not? It's been like 6 months or whatever, the start of the NHL season. I'm like 1-8 in my NHL bets. You say you're like 4-35 or something. It's actually incredible.
I am like, I'll just go right now. Like, let's just go. Action app. Last overtime.
We lost Columbus.
Yeah, lost Columbus in overtime. Let's keep going. Final shootout loss. Final shootout loss. Okay, 0-3. Final overtime loss. Final overtime loss. 0-5. Keep going here. Final overtime loss. 0-6. Final overtime loss. 0-7. Final overtime loss. 0-8. I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding. 0-8. Okay, Pittsburgh. 0-9 in my last 9. Keep going. New Jersey, Seattle. 0-10.
You didn't have one win in that 10?
Here it is. Final overtime win, Ottawa over Pittsburgh. I can't even tell you when this game was. This was played, whenever Ottawa played Pittsburgh, 5-4, Ottawa wins in overtime. That was my last NHL overtime win.
That's incredible.
1 for 10.
One for,
crazy. Can you believe I get up and do it again the next day, run it back?
I know, and it's one of those things that you're like, oh, well, the regression will positively come to us eventually. There's no such thing in hockey. I don't understand it. We should get rewarded for going to overtime and losing. And like, if there's a way to bet that, like the one day that me, you, and Hutton all went on a bet together, we literally knew it was like they're up 3-2 going into like the final 3 minutes of the third period. They blow it. It goes to overtime. We knew the game was over. Was it the Avalanche? I think it was Colorado.
Colorado.
Pittsburgh.
Yep. I mean,
I think it was that. Whatever it was an embarrassing. Dude,
they're all the
game.
same at this point. I can't. Power plays in overtime, like that's immediate killer. Like it just that keeps just happening over.
You just know like they're like the favorite, because we bet underdogs a lot in the NHL, and the favorites win in overtime because their best line is just so much better than these lower level guys. So in a transition opportunity, they're gonna finish. It's tilting. I don't think I've ever had a sport as tilting as the NHL. I lost Columbus against the Devils on Valentine's Day. It was 1.4 seconds left, I believe it was. Devils scored to win in the third period. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, I'm so angry. And I'm like, Charlie, it's Valentine's Day. You're out to dinner with your girlfriend. Hold it in. And I held it in. And I was like, oh, okay. All right. Let's just forget about it. I just sent you a text and I was like, this is absurd. And I just kept going on with my day.
What's the problem, honey? You ever heard of Columbus Blue Jackets?
They did it last night too, or 2 nights ago. They are killing me. Every game they lose in overtime.
It's so bad. It's
what I get for betting on them. It's
oh God, it's putrid. It is special. Well, let's wrap up here just because this is just so triggering of a topic for me. Hutton, you have something for us? You have something before we hit the road here?
It's Sunday night, so you've been watching football all day, right? And I have a girlfriend. She wants attention. She wants me to watch a movie. We're watching Hocus Pocus 2.
Yeah, I have a thing with my girlfriend where I just go, that was really important.
What's your girlfriend gonna do if she sees you if you shave your head?
You know what? I had a mustache for a little bit, and she didn't mind it. My girlfriend and I, when we were first like dating, she came and visited for like winter break, Christmas break, and we're watching. She's under the assumption that the college football season has ended.
My girlfriend's very similar. Me and the girlfriend went out, got sushi at night, and just kind of hung in and watched the college football playoff. I got the iPad, she got the big TV.
I said this college football playoff this year with me and my girlfriend, love her to death, but it was going to be the boy who cried wolf college football playoff. and my girlfriend's sitting there like, yeah, he does this. And they're like, who's your boyfriend? So yeah, it was like,
did you kiss her for New Year's at least at the ball drop?
No, we never got to.
Charlie, it's Valentine's Day. You're out to dinner with your girlfriend. Hold it in. And I held it in. And I was like, oh, okay. All right.
That's very good.
I'll say this. Of course, I love my girlfriend, right? That's the thing. It's what you're supposed to do in life. And you go around to your events and you do things with your girlfriend. It comes up in discussion when you're talking on a talk show with your buddy. Tim, you're my buddy, you know. And Hutton, can we just talk about Hutton real quick? Hutton hasn't even finished our Super Bowl recap vlog of the entire Cleveland weekend because he was out with his girlfriend from Monday through Wednesday. Wife. Okay, I still don't give you a pass because she's your significant other. You were gone for 3 days, and you're giving us slack for us and our girlfriends. You know what, Hutton? Very well played. Very well played.
Shout out to Barbara Alberts, fellow producer, for that idea. So
Barbara, you're just alone and sad. Okay, Barbara. That's just called jealousy, all right?
Jealousy's ugly, right? Is that what they say?
Jealousy is just love and hate at the same time, Barbara.
Yar.
Go Birds, Barbara.
Go Birds.
Eagles. A lot of time on your hands. You didn't have to watch the parade. You can put that together.
Yeah, she was trying to find a way to come back after we all profited the Chiefs, and now she's got to watch her Eagles crumble over the offseason.
Where. Well, that was nice, Hutton. Thank you very much. You put a little counter on that. That's very cute. Charlie, so we're not going back to college ever again? That's the deal?
Maybe once to like visit or like for graduation of my girlfriend's little brother.
There you go.
If that's the only time I'm probably gonna go back. I just can't see myself going back to a game or like trying to drink with like 21-year-olds. I just not interested with me anymore. I'd rather go sit at a bar and watch my money, either profit or go to waste at college basketball on a Saturday.
And do we think that the betting public is getting smarter in terms of like betting against the home team, or if the fan base is just pessimistic enough, you can expect anything?
I think it depends on the college. I think that Syracuse is pretty pessimistic as a college, and they kind of know that like Jim Boeheim is done and washed up and can't really coach or adjust. So you get a game like Duke where it's a bad matchup and it doesn't matter about the home court. I think that in general, I think the market's getting sharper. I don't know. This is a little bit too in-depth of a deep talk, but I think the market's getting sharper and opening up at better lines, which then entices people to bet against their home teams a little bit more. At least that's my opinion.
Yeah, I think that the pessimism, like when you say with Syracuse, only like recently kind of happened. I think it's kind of when I was there was not a lot of betting against Syracuse. So that's why I'm, that's why I would kind of push back against it.
Yeah, I think it's just like the last 3 years of Jim Boeheim has just been like this old man is like outside yelling at kids to get off his lawn and causing half the kids to transfer. So at a certain point, the fans are going to get upset by these teams not being successful and no one really growing, and it's just mediocrity after mediocrity until he leaves.
Yeah, I'll say this. If you go to a basketball or if you go to a sporting event and you bet against the home team and you're a fan of that team, you can be my friend any day. I love a good contrarian. I love a good miserable piece of shit.
That's right in Tim's wheelhouse. But and unfortunately, I'm heading toward that age. I don't know if it's as I'm getting older, it's just like I know that I'm getting to that point where I'm like, I don't mind going to a game and betting against my team because I know when the matchup's bad, or you watch a team enough, you don't need a blind faith that Syracuse is gonna beat 3 7-footers and decent mid-range. Like it's just not gonna happen.
You're 100% right. That's it from me. I'm done here. Hutton's saying, dude, all you guys do is talk. Enough. Wrap it up. We thought we were gonna have a short show today. I'm Tim Kalinowski. You probably already know that if you watch till the very end. At TimmyCal12 on Twitter. Again, you're probably still not gonna follow me. Don't follow me in the Action app either. It's been garbage. Charlie, plug yourself. Get out of here.
At Charlie DiSturco on Twitter and the Action app. I've been hot, not cold on the app. So my 6 plays on college basketball tonight is going to go over 6. So you might want to fade those.
I tailed. Should be fun. Buckle up. That's a wrap, everyone.